All right, good evening, everyone. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. What we're going to do right now is link into our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. We've got a dynamite show for you today. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. It was freedom and famine at the same time.
and create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we stream to you live from Mott Branch Library. So shout out to Kevin and the staff at Mott Branch Library. That's like the new branch manager, and we're on first name basis with Kevin, so we can say that because we got some type of juice here. And shout out to them. They always roll out the red, black, and green flag for us. Hey, let's get into some introductions. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, one of the co-founders of CSRN and also an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. We're going to show this week's Final Call newspaper later on and leave a few copies here at Mont Branch Library. Today, I have on kind of a, I don't know, a pullover, got some buttons in the front, kind of, I don't know, a rust brown color. I got a black hat on. Today, Jody, I have on my black eyeglasses from Optical and Twix in Between. So if you see my sister Christian Moncrief in her Optical bus, hey, stop her, ask her about that 15 or 20% off by mentioning my name. All right, just put that in the chat and see what that does for you. I've got my beads on, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And as always, we're doing this for the activist culture and the protest community, where we have a platform where no matter what we want to talk about, we can do that, and we don't have to run it up the chain or call corporate. Hey, we do it. We say we want to do it, and it's done. Jody, I think that's it for my intros. If you could do your intro, and then we'll get into our mission statement, our guiding principles. Got a dynamite commercial from, I think we're going to do Brothers and Sisters United today, and then come back with Blair.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. Happy Black August, everyone. I do want to start the show off with how many FBI agents does it take to get rid of a felony?
I don't know. Maybe is it 10?
I don't know.
Is it 50?
You need a couple more zeros to that.
Oh man, okay.
I was just doom scrolling and stuff and saw 1,000 FBI agents were put using our tax dollars to do some redactions on them. You know, the files.
Get his name out the file. Man,
it's kind of crazy.
All right.
But we want to thank you for joining us each and every week, as you guys always do. We also want to thank you for enjoying our shorts. We've been releasing shorts and reels and stuff lately, and they've been doing some impressive numbers.
That's right. All right.
So thank you. In lieu of everything that's going on in the world, we know we at least catch, what is that, 30 seconds?
That's right.
Of somebody's attention. So, and also we do this and explain and describe ourselves because we know, right, currently in the building right now, we have 3 different boards meeting. Human Relations is 2 doors down. So it's a lot going on. It's the end of the summer. A lot of things are winding up. Unfortunately, PBS is gone. Another strike to future generations, but we keep on. And I guess to describe myself for those of you out there that might be listening or listening later, we prefer you listening later. If you are currently driving somewhere right now, we don't need no more accidents on the highway. I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts and all of that stuff for doing this for the last decade. I'm doing a little shameless plug right here.
Okay, I see that.
Get the ASMR thing, with scratching thing. But
okay, I was wondering what that sound was. All right, okay, all right.
But for today's 5 minutes of heat, I'm actually going to be reading one of these pieces. And what I'm wearing is one of my hats from the Ink Truth brand. I stopped wearing the wristbands a long time ago. But if you look up here, we got some of our guest wristbands.
Oh, yeah, we got some swag today. Blair Johnson. All right.
And the shirt that I'm wearing
City Council
is Dope Black Author, which I am. I think you can't drain the melanin out of my skin. They've been trying to for a while by inviting me all this stuff. But again, we want to thank you for joining us. And if you are trying to build something like this, it's a very difficult thing. We are going on 11 years.
That's right.
From protests to marching to city council meetings to giving away scholarships and awards and keys to the city. Yes, we gave away keys to the city.
That's right.
And all that stuff. To right now, we do a radio show where we speak to anywhere from I will say about 45 to 46 people
That's right.
every single year, because we only take a couple of weeks off when we have to do some political stuff ourselves. So we thank each and every last one of our guests that come on and engage with us and are actually knowledgeable in their fields, because our show is not a trendy show, topic show. I like to quip a lot based on stuff that I see while I'm doom scrolling, but mostly it's who you are.
That's right.
It's no jokes. We aren't going to bring up, and your ex is about to walk in the room. None of that stuff. We're not going to ask you what do you think is going on with Russia or how you could fix Gaza, because that's probably out of your wheelhouse, unless you come on the show and that is your wheelhouse.
Hey, and we have had those.
Exactly. We
All right.
interview everybody. So how you get to that point is what's called a mission statement.
And the guiding principles.
And that allows kind of filtering out if you actually want to be a part of this. Some people just want to see, you know, the excitement in marches or get some viral views. We came into this for the long term. So we built this, and I believe it was last week or week before last where we went to the Movement for Black Lives.
Oh, yeah.
And got some of our guiding principles and stuff like that and evolved it for our home. Because just you see somebody doing something somewhere else, does not mean that's going to work for your city, your town, your neighborhood, or even your block. Because everybody is, you know, their own little village and stuff.
That's right.
So this is how we came up with it. And we hope you enjoy, you know, there might be some people out there that recite that, because I wasn't always the voice doing this. Actually, back in our old days, I avoided doing this job all the time because I'm still a lot more extroverted, I guess you could say, but I don't really like talking a lot. And people would never know that, especially after the last few years.
I would never know that. All right.
But it's good. I taught myself to do this because for a long time, I was silent. I did a whole bunch of stuff, but I didn't really put myself the forefront of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if you have a brand, it's kind of good versus AI and all this other stuff that's going on. Be the forefront of your brand, and that way nobody can take it from you. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
And maybe hopefully later on we'll get into some Black Lives Matter moments, just going over the last 11 years and some of the things that we've done together that stand out. As Jody said, these are the guiding principles that we gleaned from the movement for Black Lives way back in 2015. We took it, you know, remixed it and made it our own. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our work. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting energy, time, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow, and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Hey, before we take a break, I really want to give a shout out to those who were with us last week. We were talking to the Toledo Black Mental Health Corporation and how they're coming into Toledo, or they're already here, talking about mental health, talking about making the difference and being well. So, shout out to all of those who are caring about some of the things that we thought were taboo. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back. All right, let's try it. Here we go.
It's the Panama Canal.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library. Why did they put the microphone right in front of me like that? I don't know what's going on. Hey, listen, one of the CSRN traditions is whenever we have a guest, well, it's kind of family, but we'll say a guest today, all right? Whenever we have a guest, we ask our guests who they are, what are they wearing, and what are we talking about today? So, hey, let's go ahead and get it in. So who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Okay. Well, I'm Blair Johnson. I'm wearing Blair Johnson.
Okay.
A little Blair Johnson here as well.
All right.
And today we're going to talk about this 2025 City Council at Large run.
All right. So I wanted to ask this question. When did you first have the idea that this is what you wanted to do? And I'm going to try to share the website here too, see what's going on with that. So when did that happen?
So it's been something, I'm 35 now, so it's been something I've wanted to do since my 20s. But, you know, one thing, they say preparation is not time wasted. Wanting to do something and also knowing when you should, you know, jump off the porch or when you should launch is another thing as well.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, I did pull petitions, you know, last minute, you know, with work, it getting complicated. And, you know, I hadn't been seeing some of the change and some of the things I wanted to see. So I was updating some paperwork and I was actually going to get, you know, updated voter registration forms at the same time. And, you know, as I was in there, you know, I was like, well, you're in the right place, because technically I could have, you know, did everything I needed to do by mail. I could have printed off voter registration forms, you know, online. And, you know, sometimes when you're in the right place, it was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, yes, I do. And, you know, I was like, you know, it's time. Because you get to a point where you look at things and you say, oh, somebody else will do it. You know,
right.
Somebody else isn't doing it. So there's a reason it's not being done. So, you know, go ahead and get to work.
Okay. So we're looking at your website. Let me bring it up again. Well, it's up here now. And up to the top, it says Blair Johnson for City Council, Toledo City Council. No spins, just solutions.
Correct.
Okay, where did the green come from? All right. And where did the no spins, just solutions come from?
Okay, so green has so it's called BMJ Green. So my business
okay.
BMJ Enterprises. We do handyman work, building maintenance, you know, flat pack kits. The color that when my designer, a buddy of mine from high school, designed, I just love the shade of green, and so he tweaked it a little bit, and you know, made a Pantone that's called BMJ Green. So any business, usually any of the nonprofits, anything that I directly create in the design, that's always a part of it. So when I initially went on my campaign run, you know, I was like, well, that's me. That's a part of me. So, you know, it just translated right over. And then no spins, just solutions is almost exactly what it says. You know, so often people give you a lot of spins. They tell you this, they tell you that to avoid, you know, getting to the root of it. No spins. Let's just get to solutions. You
okay.
know, so many often we do so much talking about things, and we'll have 37 town halls and we still haven't resolved the problem. Let's identify the problem. Boom. Now let's find a solution for it. A solution may not be overnight. It may be 6 months. It may be a year. We may have to find money for it. We may have to create something. There is a process to that, but there's only 3 steps to a problem: identifying it,
all right,
finding a solution, and executing it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to take that into work tomorrow. All right.
Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
All right. Also want to give a shout out to the Greater Toledo Realtors Association. They say hello, Director Johnson. I'm like, okay. All right. That's what's up.
That's my GTRA family. So,
okay.
So just to plug them in, because they're a great education, a great organization, and I am one of the directors. GTRA is the Greater Toledo Realtors Association. It's the local chapter of under NARAB, which is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And the overall mission is for democracy in housing. So back in the day, you know, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, Black people weren't allowed in. They weren't allowed to be in the other realtor trade and broker trade organizations, so they created their own. African Americans weren't allowed to purchase in certain neighborhoods, or they were given the black price, which would have been a highly inflated price. And even on, if you ever talk to Fair Housing, some of the things on some of the deeds, and that most of them have been scrubbed, but there's a lot of old horrible notes with foul language on these titles. But that's part of what they do to bring that equality, and it's a continual fight. Like I said, it was started for us, for our blacks, African Americans, but it's open to everybody, and it's still a fight going on. As the NAACP says, the struggle continues, and it will continue. That's part of that, is to make sure the fight isn't as hard. There's always going to be a fight.
Okay, that's right. All right. Well, shout out to the Greater Toledo Realtors Association, our brother Rob Pasker, and everybody that's involved there. All right.
Yep.
All right. Hey, I'm just name dropping. I'm just name dropping over here.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's your engagement with the communities has been, from Blair Johnson handyman to Blair Johnson candidate? What has that been like?
It's been a lot of excitement. I've had a lot of people coming up extremely excited, going into this space, stepping into the political boxing ring, essentially, is what it is, unfortunately, at times. But stepping into that arena, it's been different. But I've had a lot of positive energy, a lot of support, a lot of people excited. People in the community, they want change, and they want help, and they want to be heard. And that's one of the things that they haven't really been seeing or, feeling, is they haven't been heard. A lot of people have issues that just need to be heard out so we can find solutions. Certain people are in certain situations to where the people, our elected officials, can make a call, can send a text, can send an email, and that problem can be resolved that quick. So where they're looking, oh, that's just a little issue. But to that person, it's big. It's huge. It's big.
Yeah.
And so people they just want help, is what I've been learning.
Hey, one of the issues that that CSRN has been passionate about for probably the last 4 years is what's happening on the South Side. And I look this way because we have one of our placards up here that says, "Don't dump municipal waste on South Toledo." And a few years ago, our sister, Charlene, who owns Comrade's Car Wash right there at Airport in Burns, she had approached us and said, "Hey, look, Brother Washington, this is going down. They're poisoning the community. They're doing things that's outside of what they should be doing from wherever the designation is for that property." And then both you and my brother Roberto Torres got into the fray. And like you said, with a text message and getting involved. What was that like, being involved with that as a candidate?
It was good. I felt more like a neighbor, because I'm a couple miles up the road on Woodsdale, so I'm not too far from the area that was affected in the Bern Airport, Angola area. But just talking to the people who were directly affected, and it's just the fact to find out that they were dumping pollution in our neighbors' backyards, essentially, in areas of low income housing. Directly, people who don't have a voice that's as loud to be heard. So it was great to be able to come in there and help, and to be a loudspeaker for them. So hey, you guys, you can't do this, and to be able to get it resolved and to get them to stop dumping.
And those were some powerful people who greased the hands of a lot of people. And it takes a lot to get involved with that, because that's where we get our opposition. That's where we get the people. We find the right people to not like us. All right.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you can't be neutral. You got to pick a side. And we picked the side of those homeowners that were right across the street from this dump, right across the street. So it was awesome to see you there, see Roberto Torres there, and all the community come together for that.
And that's one of the biggest things that is the keyword community. When we work together, and I think that's one of my biggest things with everything that's going on, is figuring out how we can can build back our community. We have Toledo's a great city. Don't take me wrong, but we have pockets of community versus a whole thing. And we're not all that. No matter what it is, we're not all that different. Most of us are facing the same issues, the same problems.
I feel you.
And we just got to get back to working together because we can get so much accomplished when we sit down, when we talk, and when we find solutions together.
Okay. All right. So what are some of the other things that you've learned along the way? I'm positive that there's something that you didn't know that now you're like, oh man, now I know. So what are some of those things that you've learned along the way?
Well, I learned, I guess I got a second lesson in the fact that people don't really, like too much when you don't agree with what they're doing. And sometimes it's just right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think sometimes people don't like when you don't sway on that. And, they'll push some things to try to make, you feel that they don't like that you disagree. And I think the difference now is being on that other side,
right?
Directly in the way of the target versus just being the guy that came with the drill and the hammer.
Okay,
didn't really care too much.
Well, that guy we liked.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. But this other guy, hold on, he's trying to, is he trying to take my seat? Is he trying to take my chair? Now, now he's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. All right. Well, it's CSRN. We have some good problems to have. All right, and either we're about this work or we're not. And I heard something on the radio, and the guy said this: if you want everyone to like you, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream.
Absolutely.
and we're not on this podcast selling ice cream. We're not in our community selling ice cream. We have some critical questions regarding policy, and we're not making it personal. We're talking about the policy. Absolutely. We're talking about your campaign. We're talking about the decisions. We could care less about you as a person because I'm a person too. But we're talking about the things that you're championing, and we have a problem with that. And also we have some solutions. And we have some people that are running for office that also have some solutions. So either we come together at a political forum and people can hear Blair, they can hear the other person without anyone interjecting or interrupting, or just back out. And that brings me to my next question. Man, what is it that makes you different from all the other people that are running for the same seat that you're running for right now? Why should we vote for you?
Well, one of the things is I'm coming with a different perspective, and I know that's probably something that people state, but I'm a laborer. I've been a public servant my whole life. In my business, working for the Postal Service, being a school custodian, and working for the library. And both my parents are laborers. My mom still works for the post office. My dad was a union electrician, and now he's a safety consultant. So I come from a perspective of service, understanding, how to serve and servant leadership. And so translating that over. And then also I'm not the guy with a bunch of big degrees. I don't, sit behind a computer in the desk. I'm out here, on the day to day. I'm with the people. I'm getting my hands dirty. I change toilets. I'm that guy, so I'm not above anybody. I'm sitting here staring you eye to eye. The biggest difference, in addition to all that, is I'm a hard worker. I'm I'm gonna figure out a problem. And like I said, I'm gonna sit here, shoulder to shoulder, side by side with you and actually do it. I'm not gonna just, take your issue and throw it on the shelf and let it become that, dusty old book nobody checks out in the library.
Right. Well, we got a chance to witness that, I think, at the Old West End Festival. We saw the contingent that walked with you, which was quite a few green shirts. All right. That's when I felt like, hey, why don't I have a shirt? Well, you weren't walking. All right. And also at the African American, I was there at the African American Festival too. All right, so of all the candidates, I didn't see many people walking with a candidate like that. They would be all grouped up and walk together. What is it about your campaign that attracted people like that to walk with you?
People just, they believe in me. The things I'm saying now, essentially on the campaign trail, are the same things I was saying 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. The narrative hasn't changed. I've had one fundraiser this year, and at that initial fundraiser, I wrote a speech, which isn't something I'm not used to doing. I started trying to read a speech, and I said, I just got to talk to you guys. I don't know how to be scripted. And I think it's just, I'm having conversation, just like we're talking right now. I'm having a conversation. I don't know, I think that's one of the things, and it's just from the heart. It's genuine. I mean it.
All right, well, I've been in the political arena for quite some time, and I think that outside of Earl Mack, when he ran for sheriff. All right, he was one that was already involved in the community, and even though he didn't win the election, he's still involved now, and he had a lot of things going on. And when I look at your campaign, you have a lot of stuff going on. Come and see me here. I'm having a thing here, and then I go to your website, which is Blair Johnson for Toledo. That's the number 4, so don't get it wrong. Meaning I logged onto the Blair Johnson. All right. Hey, all right. So I log on to, go onto his website, log on to events, and the website is up to date because when I log on, it's got up to date stuff on there.
Yep.
All right. Shout out to who's ever doing that. Because
the tech guy's pretty cool. I mean, I think he do his thing. He do his thing.
Well, we don't have him at CSRN. We are not the same. All right. So you got something going on. It's the Pastoral Brunch with Blair Johnson. This is Thursday, August 14th.
Yep.
All right.
So that's going to be basically, and I'll also welcome you and any of the members if you guys want to come. It's just. It's a conversation. One of the biggest things is, I know I said, we don't need to have 37 conversations, but we do have to have some conversations.
I understand that.
And then also what I'm looking to do with this is, in addition to bring, the heads of our churches and our faith-based, places are shepherds, essentially, for our community. And so people come to them and tell them their issues and what they're feeling. And one of the things that I believe in community is putting people, as I've done in the past with networking events and stuff, is putting people into a room can change things so drastically in a positive way.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because you may not have met, him or her or them before, but now you're like, oh, you're having a conversation. You're like, oh my God, we can do X, Y, Z. And now next week, I still have people telling me about the relationships they've met from being in a room that we open. And so that's one of the things, is just to have a community conversation, a temperature check essentially, but also to be able to put people in a room so we can expand our community. Community, is here, but we need to build it. We need to invest into community, and investing in community is by bringing some of the leaders of the community together so we can further develop. And I mean, when you bring a bunch of smart people together to have a conversation, you get different perspectives. When you have different perspectives, you can build better. You can change things, and that's one of the better things. Toledo's a great place, but we can make it greater.
Okay, so I'm looking at the website. That's Blair for Toledo, BlairJohnsonForToledo.com. And I'm going through your campaign. And your platform is building a better Toledo, empowering our youth, cleaning up blight, and strengthening neighborhoods. Now, most times when I see political people, they really don't talk about the youth. They talk about business. They talk about taxes. What is it about the youth that made you want to put this a part of your platform?
So, all those things really circle back to each other.
I'm gonna
every
make
single
that a little
thing.
bit bigger on here too.
So with our youth, I was always told, the old saying, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And usually when you don't have the proper things to engage, our parents can say, you go do this program, you go do that. But if that's not a program that you're interested in, you may be there, but then you divert. We have to, finding things for our youth is not one size fit all, like that hat at the store.
Yeah.
It's a custom tailored fit. We have to fit it to each child. We have to find out what their interests. We have to at least find something that just, hooks them a bit to be able to be intrigued, to see where they want to go, to develop. And a part of that is, like Dr. Durant at TPS, he's doing a lot to engage the children and actually doing studies and finding out what they want to do. One of the things that made me most excited about some of his program, he had a kid who was having trouble reading, but now he's in the aerospace program, the aeronautics program, learning how to build and fly planes. And they said they can't keep him out of the manuals about learning how to build a plane. So you telling me that kid wasn't capable of reading? No, he just wasn't liking what he was reading. But I can't tell you nothing about an airplane, but he has this knowledge. So that's one of those things in, workforce development or showing them how to build a business. Kids can set themselves up for their future, for generational wealth, if we engage them properly. We got to find out what they like. I don't like peanut butter. So if you give me a peanut butter sandwich, I'm just going to look at it like, no. But
Right.
if you give me the sandwich I like, I'm going to eat it. It is food and we need it, but you can't just force something that doesn't work with me.
That's okay. Okay. Anytime you see us stop and stare off in his face, that's because Jody is talking to us off camera. You can't hear him. We're gonna have to give him a mic or something.
Yeah.
All right. But he had to break open the bank there in order for us to get the mic. So I don't think we ought to get a mic. I'm going to read the time for action is now. This is from the website. It says Toledo deserves leadership that listens, takes action, and puts people first. It goes on to say that together we can create a city where families thrive, businesses grow, and communities are stronger than ever. Join the movement. Let's build a better Toledo together. Then there's the hashtags, Blair Johnson for Toledo. No spins, just solutions. We should have came up with that first. Right. And then the last hashtag, I work for the people. What I want to do in closing, hey, first, thanks for coming through, man.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me.
Shake your hand on camera, all right?
I appreciate it.
All right. We're really big on self-care and gratitude at CSRN, being a part of the activist culture and protest community. We're always engaged in something trauma-centered. Something went wrong. Somebody was done wrong, and we need to make it right. However, there's a time that we need to take a break. All right, and self-care is an essential part of what we do. So with all the campaigning, all the handshaking, I don't know if they still kiss babies or campaigning after COVID. I don't know. You do this. I'm not doing it. So what is it that you do for self-care to bring it all in and balance it on out? What do you do?
I know this is going to sound crazy, but I've been working on my house. I've been updating it.
Okay.
Something I haven't done in a long time, and it's specifically for me to make me happy. So I've been working on my bathroom. So I'm going through the process of that. Been in my house 13 years. So it's just something, I'm doing. And I'm doing it little bit by little bit because of the time. But every time I'm not tired. I can, be going 13, 14 hours a day when I get to it, just doing a little bit because I was told you don't have to take on the full load right now, and baby steps still get miles.
Okay.
So you just do a little chunk, but that's that and sitting in the chair, just drop the phone, leave the TV off. And I try to do that for 15, 20 minutes every day, no matter what, just to decompress. So between those two activities, those are probably my biggest self-care until.
Hey, look, whatever gets it done. All right. Self-care is that it's not like you said, it's not a one size fits all.
It's a custom fit.
It's a custom fit. And if it works, it works. Lastly, we're really big in gratitude. So if you could tell our listeners 3 things that you're grateful for, what would those 3 things be?
One of the biggest things is I'm thankful for the community in Toledo, directly outside of Toledo. The support has been amazing. We're a small grassroots campaign. We're an independent campaign. We're not backed or affiliated with any parties. So it's just me and the people. And the support has been amazing. The encouragement, the positive words, those have all been amazing. People have invested into my campaign, which, you know, when they invest in me, it's fuel to my fire.
That's right.
It makes me work harder. And that's one of my biggest things. Indirectly, my campaign team, I asked people, everybody I asked said yes, which I'm not used to asking for help. So the time I asked for help, each one of them was like, yeah,
man,
what do you need me to do? And I was
dope.
like, you know, when I asked, I'm like, hold up, I wasn't ready for what happened after yes. I mean, I got a list of,
right. That's right.
titles, but, that was one of the biggest things. And then probably the third and most important things has been my parents. My mother and my father have nothing but positive, my mom's at the pastoral event. My mom's making pasta salad again. She did it at our first one. It's been the one for the grass eaters, so it's been no meat, but it's been delicious. And she does it. It was, see, Jody had it. He said it was delicious. It was really good.
Oh, and he didn't bring back a plate with aluminum foil and like, hey, brother, why?
You're gonna have to pop by on the 14th. She's gonna make some more. But like my parents' support has been amazing because this is when I said I was doing it, they said, "Are you ready?" I said yes, and that was all they needed. And they've been right behind me, from the start. So like that's probably it's the people. I mean, everything I've said is just the people. The community supporting me, from people saying, "Hey, can I get a sign in my yard?" Can I get a shirt? Can we purchase a shirt? Can we have something with the campaign information on it? Like, Blair, we want to advertise the campaign. We want to tell people about the campaign. And it's just appreciated because every single thing matters and everything single thing helps. And I truly appreciate it. I know I said 3 things, but it's the people. It's the people.
Okay, we can do 4. All right.
But
it's our show.
We're gonna combine it. It's just the people. The people have been the people.
All right, so for the 14th, go to Blair Johns for Toledo. That's the number 4 Toledo.com, and you have the pastoral event. Where is it going to be at? Because I don't think that I saw that.
So it's going to be at Warren AME at 1 p.m. So just there should be a link on it, but just send a text 419-407-6512. Like I said, any pastoral leaders, any spiritual leaders, any ministers, feel free to come, and just come with an open mind and an open heart. Like I said, this is even outside of the campaign, something that we just need to be together because at the end of the day, it all matters because we got to work together. And that's the thing. Like, we're so separated at times, not knowing that we're stronger together.
That's true. I think some of us do know that we're stronger together. That's why we're separate. All right. Yeah. All right. So, would you be willing, because right now we're putting something together to have a forum for the city council, because there's quite a few candidates. We'll double back to decide if we're going to do the mayoral, but right now we're focused on the city council. But would you be willing to be a part of the candidates that we bring either to the Frederick Douglass or to the Wayman Palmer?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let me know when.
All right. We're putting that together right now. So be looking out for that for the Toledo City Council. candidates forum. We'll either have it at the Frederick Douglass Community Center. That's where we normally have our political forums. But we also want to see what would it look like at Wayman Palmer too. That's brand new. All right. Some different, different part of town. Let's see what that would look like. And would you be willing to come back maybe later on and tell us how things are going? What are some of the things that we should be looking forward to for Blair Johnson for City Council?
Absolutely. And sidebar, no matter who you decide to support, please make sure you update your voter registration, or if you've never voted before, if you're 18 or if you're just new or whatever the case may be, register to vote. Lucas County Board of Elections, you can do everything right now electronically. You have up until October 7th to register. So no matter who you I would love for you to support me, but no matter who you decide to support, even if without me, please get updated. These local elections matter so much.
That's right.
And they directly, we got our federal and our state, but our local affects us so much faster, so much directly. These are the people who make the decisions of the things. When you live, work, and play in Toledo, these are the people that make decisions. So sorry to jump in with that, but just please update your voter registration and register to vote.
Oh, that is important, because our local politicians, we know where they live. All right. We can spin the block. All right. We just heard the street that you live on. So it's really important.
You got to take the trail, because Arlington is still closed.
Okay. Hey, we'll make it happen. All right. Hey, listen, the website is Blair Johnson for Toledo. That's number 4 for Toledo.com. Check out his website. Check out some of the things that he's standing for, brother. I thank you for coming by.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers, because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers, or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes, which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. Sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do, because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a VU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. VU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review. Hey, shout out to Blair Johnson for City Council for coming through and talking with us about his platform. He's talking about blight. He's talking about the community. He's talking about public safety. And he's also talking about having those conversations with some of the faith leaders. I'm going to try to attend that. I don't know if I had to put up a cardboard cutout of myself at work or it did bounce. And if my boss is watching this, hey, it is what it is. All right. I came there looking for a job. I guess I'll leave there looking for a job too. I'll just have to throw Blair Johnson for City Council under the bus. Hey, I was out here with Blair and Jody. All right. So shout out to Blair for coming in and talking about his campaign, and be looking out for in the future for the CSRN City Council Forum.
Yes.
That's going to happen, be it the will of the universe at either Frederick Douglass or at the brand new Wayman Palmer.
Go door number 2.
All right.
I'm thinking door number 2.
Okay, when door number 2 is Wayman Palmer, so we'll put some feelers out and get some dates and get back to the candidates if this is a good date and make it happen. And, we're gonna have to pay for it, so we're gonna have to do the shakedown.
Probably door number 2.
Hey, we'll do the shakedown and see what it takes to get some signage, a sound system, all the stuff that we know how to do. And we do it well. Hey, listen, let me get into some of the current events. One of the things that I wanted to highlight is this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper is International's outrage amid Israel's cruelty. And if you're following this in the news, well, I'm just going to pull up this from finalcall.com. You can either get a Final Call newspaper from some of the brothers that's going to be out this weekend, or you can go online and read it. But we'd like for you to get a paper from us. This is from the article, "The World Must Stop the Crimes Israel is Committing Now. Global Outrage Over the Weaponized Starvation of Palestinians." And I'm going to just read this. It says, "The atrocity of starvation and death is becoming worse by the day in Gaza. Nearly 2 years of onslaught by Israeli occupied forces, desperate Palestinians are risking their lives for scarce humanitarian aid. In recent weeks, an alarming number of people have been shot and killed just attempting to access food at designated distribution points." So check that out. That's this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper. You could either get the newspaper from one of the brothers with the bow ties on the corner. Stop by here at Mott Branch Library. Once again, shout out to Mott Branch Library that allow us to keep some issues of the Final Call here, or stop by Bobby Howard's, Yummy's, Powell's Beauty Supply right there on Nebraska, or you can get your digital subscription at digital.finalcall.com. We also had the Final Call commercial before this. Jody, that's all I got right now. And also a shout out to Reggie Williams.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the paper up while I say this. This week, Reggie Williams had the 50th year birth anniversary. I call it birth anniversary because, you had one birthday, all right? All right, that was one. But all right, let me not get on that type of thing. And he turned 50, and I told him I didn't know numbers went that high. I was flabbergasted. Whoa, all right. Me being 34, I had no idea. I thought it stopped way before then. So, but everybody wore orange that day. Check out Reggie Williams' Facebook page and see all of the people that showed up there and gave that brother his flowers while he lived. And most times we don't do anything like that until after they pass. So it was good seeing that. So shout out to Reggie Williams. Shout out once again to the Final Call newspaper, covering a lot of the articles that others just don't have the fortitude to do. And shout out to all the brothers that are with me on throughout the community, pushing peace. Jody, I think that wraps it up for me. I did Reggie on the Final Call newspaper. What are some of the things that you've seen going on in the community and some of the things that you think it will be a good look for us to participate in?
Awesome. Well, last week, as summer is beginning to wind down again, happy Black August to everybody. August has started off strong with lots and lots of events, as many organizations and boards. And before I get into the list of things that did happen and places that I did go, shout out to the BRB Run Club. And I do want to say stuff because, again, when you don't see me online and all the stuff, I'm normally just doom scrolling, trying to respond to as many people. I don't use boosted posts or blue checks. I mean, I got $8, but I can find other sources to use that for. You. So when you see me comment or react, and I normally do the little care sign. Other than laugh, I don't do the thumbs or the heart. That has been my thing since they actually released it. Somebody told me that you'll lose it if you stop using it. So that's basically my go-to. But as I was reading in the comments and my posts and stuff, if you go to the Run Club and stuff like that, there is etiquette and decorum. So don't go trying to sell your product and shirts and network or be in the group trying to set up other various run clubs. It's just kind of in a way bad business. They've started something beautiful. A couple of years ago, we had the whole Bike Rides Matter.
Yeah.
This summer is the BRB. So if you're going out there, be kind. I don't believe it's one of those organizations from what I read in the description. So don't be trying to sell your own product and be there just for the crowd that they have accumulated. That is wrong. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Hey, you know where you can find him? He'll be right outside my branch library in about 30 minutes. All right.
I'm docked. You can email me. You can pop up in the wireless if you want to.
Well, no, we ain't popping up in the wireless. All right. We'll do everything but pop up in the wireless. You should have led with that. All right.
That's why I love where I live.
All right.
10 years ago, I decided if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it from the hood.
Okay.
I have shootings outside every other day or something like that. Now, it doesn't always get put on the news, but they see me as a reason to not do that stuff when I'm outside. I can sit on my porch anytime I want, talk to my neighbors. I don't really remember all their names and stuff, but they see me constantly out doing stuff. So
that's right.
Here's some of the stuff that's gone on since the last time we had our show. Tuesday, while we were having our show, there was the Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Toledo Zoo Amphitheater.
Yeah.
Thought it was good turnout and everybody, a whole bunch of people got to enjoy it and stuff. Wednesday, speaking of Blair, there was the volunteer meeting at Reynolds Corner Public Library. I'm not sure. He's nodding his head, so I'm figuring that went out well. That's good. Thursday, July 31st, there was the community movie nights at Toledo City Parks. And that one was specifically located at, trying to look at that, because they have a whole list of different nights and stuff. So that one was Wilson Park, and they were showing Mufasa the Lion King. So shout out to all that going on. Friday, August 1st, there was Crazy Ben's Toledo grand opening. I saw no post about that, but I believe there was probably a lot of people out there and stuff like that. Over the weekend, there was the one thing that we are known for, which is kind of crazy since I've been a little bit all over the world, except Japan, they don't have Jeeps, but everywhere else you go, there is a Jeep. When people say, "Oh, you from Toledo?" Yes, home of the glass and the Jeep and a few other things. So this was our Jeep Fest 2025. I believe that was all weekend. They shut down town and everybody was out there. I saw a couple wedding proposals and stuff like that. So good times. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because I work at the Art Museum now. So that's where I was. That's where you'll be seeing me a lot of my times is at the Art Museum until I get my community gallery. Just putting that out into the universe. Coming for that. Also, August 1st, there was Arts and Equity Collective Presents Cassandra is Free, Discussing Invisible Diseases. This is one of the people that I did the book that came out July 1st on the textbook that's going into schools in Cincinnati with the trauma recovery and survival and stuff like that. So I'm going to be pushing that too, just like I will Swell Magazine and stuff like that, besides my little shameless plug right here. Anything that I am involved in or I'm an alumni of, like the African American Festival, I will always try and share and support because that's what you do.
That's right.
Moving forward, Saturday, August 2nd, there was the Media and Literacy Revolutionary Defense at Mott Library. It was Understanding Media, Understanding Capitalism. Whoever was able to make that, hopefully you had a good time. Saturday, August 2nd was Gospel on the Green weekend. It was a whole weekend.
Yeah, it was.
That was 1406 Key Street. You know, I'm different. I've been entertaining for way too long. I don't like concerts.
I don't think they asked you if you like it. I don't think they asked you about that.
Because people ask me, like, where are you having this concert and stuff? I'm like, I normally do stuff. So if I do, like last year when I went to the Park Jam, this year when I go to the Park Jam, which is in a couple weeks, I'm probably going to be trying to clean up and talk to people.
All right.
I don't like enclosed spaces. I just think it comes with always like I've never been a bench person over this last decade. So if there's a game going on, I want to be in it. You need the mic check, something like that. So this is why you don't see me at a lot of concerts. But I did see there was a lot of good things going on at Gospel on the Green. Saturday, also August 2nd, a friend of mine, actually my first director, because we shot a movie last week, one of our short films and stuff. But Opal Allen had her Opal mastered it. She did a double master's program and she graduated. Been friends with her for many, many years now. She was my first like short reel podcast when you do those little short films and stuff.
Yeah.
So she was the first person I ever filmed with before all the stuff. Eeny Meeny, shameless plug, is coming out August 22nd on Disney Plus and Hulu. I'm in that movie with a whole bunch of other Toledo people, so hopefully you get to see that. But that was going on. Also August 2nd was Esham and the Convalescents at Frankie's. Met them when I was at Harpo's, got to be the whole backstage treatment and everything like that. Esham's a great person. Hopefully they had a great concert. Saturday, August 2nd, was the Ottawa Park concert series. So Saturday was a very, very, very busy day. And you said Reggie's thing was that day too?
Reggie's thing was that day too.
So Saturday was a very busy day. I don't have nothing for Sunday or Monday. So if something did go on, nobody invited me. I feel sad, but that's okay. I enjoy all of the stuff that I do get to be a part of. Here's some upcoming things until we come back. The Young Professionals Mixer at Toll House is this Thursday at 4:30. That's 1447 North Summit Street. So Young Professionals Mixer at Toll House. I believe Gutter Dave is hosting that, and then it might be a weekly thing. Also this Thursday, which I'll be doing double duty again, is the Film Toledo 2025 Summer Mixer. The people that got the film, that did all the casting and all the good stuff, and some other things in the pipeline are Film Toledo and some other things. So if you want to be in the movie industry and all that stuff, figure out how to get people for your shorts. I know a lot of people are getting into that. These are people that are dedicated to their craft, and we show up. So that is at 6 o'clock. The Young Professionals Mixer is at 4:30. So I'll be running to both of them. Thursday, also August 7th at 7 p.m. is another community movie night for the Toledo City Parks, and this one is going to be at...
I don't know.
I'm looking.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Thought you were
they
trying
have a whole list
thought you
of
trying to
stuff.
get me again. No, I don't know that one.
So they have a whole list of stuff, and I'm going to retroactively go back. The other one was at Castlewood Drive, and they were showing The Bad Guys. Now that I actually clicked the more button, I can see all the dates and stuff.
Okay.
So this one is going to be at Smith Park, and they're showing Wicked.
Oh, that's what's up.
And this Friday at 6 o'clock, there is the Artist Talk at Toledo Museum of Art. That's going to be at the Glass Pavilion with Natalie Nalise. If you don't know who that is, back in 2020 when the whole world was going crazy, me and a few other artists did a conjunction, like contractor thing with the Toledo Library to get kids to read. We made posters based off of, or what was it, 7 artists made posters based off of a poem that I wrote.
I guess I still got my poster at the house.
I still have some of those when I do my big move in about a year or so. Or if you order a hoodie box or other shameless plug stuff, I might throw one in there, but they're like packed up. I got maybe 1,000 or so more posters. I just haven't brought them out in a while, but shout out to her. If I'm available, I'm going to come over because we've never actually met in person. That is one of the funny things from when we did Your Chapter Awaits. None of the artists, we know each other personally.
Yeah.
But we never had, one of them big together things because it was COVID. So I feel like it was a missed opportunity there. They should bring it back.
What, COVID? All right. Yeah, I could work from home again. All right.
I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
All right.
How many FBI agents to get a blacklist out? Looks like that probably right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, this Saturday at 1 p.m., I don't think she's ever been on the show, but it's another good friend of mine. She's done some open mics and some other stuff, is Sea Crystals. She's having her office grand opening at 415 North Michigan Street. I think she's doing some crystal giveaways. There'll be light refreshments and snacks and stuff like that. So show up if you can. And then we have the Ottawa Park Concert Series is again this Saturday at 6 p.m., August 9th. And then this Saturday also is Uncloistered Poetry, August 9th. I'll be there performing probably the grief poem that was last week, which has some good reviews and stuff like that. This Sunday, if you can't be there in person for Uncloistered, which is at the Attic, shout out to Joni McKintry, is the virtual form of Uncloistered at 6 p.m. And I believe that is the end of my list. So updates.
All right. So if you like what we do and you want to support us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, and like our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're looking to have, Jody, at least 100,000 subscribers. We are so far from that. All right. So far, but
hey, closer than we were yesterday.
Okay. All right. I will let that slide. But all you need to do is type in Community Solidarity Response Network into the search. It'll drop down, hit the notification. So whenever we have our podcast, you'll be able to, you'll be the first to be notified. Also, we have our Black Lives Matter signs available. The ones that we left at the corner of Abdur and Smead. Hey, somebody came and got them.
They found a happy home.
I would assume so. And also, we do have some of the defund Toledo PD signs. So that is an excellent, I was going to say, a stocking stuffer for the summer. Have something in you.
Big stockings.
Right. And also, one of the things that I wanted to mention was Jody talked about it being Black August, and we commemorate Black August in a time of collective grief, clarity, rage, and rebellion. Mighty waves of popular uprising against the ravages of white supremacy and anti-Black racism are flooding the streets, rising within and outside prison walls, and reverberating through communities and institutions. And so Black people are resist, first to survive, and like generations of ancestors before, to fundamentally alter our collective condition and make freedom real. This is the legacy of Black August. So hopefully during the month of August, we're going to have some of our brothers and sisters that were confined to confined citizens, and maybe some of those who are continuing to be confined, log in and speak to you about some of the challenge, some of the programs that they're doing right now to make their life better from in the belly of the beast, and how some of them still organize and help us from beyond prison walls. So just wanted to let everybody know what Black August is and how CSRN promotes it. And also during this month, we have a CSRN takeover where we have one of our community members take over our page and post about what they do professionally and as far as organizing in the community. Jody, at this point, while we as we get ready to close out, we have something called 5 Minutes of Heat. And what 5 Minutes of Heat is how we close out our podcast. We have creative expression, and that comes from a hip hop record. That's how old I am. I'm calling it a hip hop record. All right. Called 5 Minutes of Funk by Houdini. And Jody has been our resident 5 Minutes of Heat spokesperson, spoken word artist, wordsmith, however they call it. What do you have for us today? And you actually have a hardcover book. What is the book and what's in it?
Well, this is my latest baby, the Childhood Trauma Series Volume 2, A Decade of Recovery Through Art. It actually turns, what is today?
Today is August 5th.
So in 10 days, this book turns 4 months.
Oh.
I released it on the 10-year anniversary of me publishing my first book, Tears of the Wounded, which Blair has a copy of. He's still in the room, so.
Okay. You just called him out like that, all right? Like he had to go home and try to find it now, like mine. All right. It is what it is.
But another shameless plug for everybody that's been asking and stuff. I will be doing an official book signing at Artomatic 419 here in Toledo, Ohio. It's a thing that when I started writing, the Arts Commission switched over to Momentum. And now they're bringing it back. I am actually one of the one of the featured people performing. So I'll be performing one day, and then I'll have a setup with all of my artwork and my books. So I figured, hey, this would be the perfect place to do a book signing. I'm going to do the book signing there, so I ain't got to pay for all the other stuff. But anyway.
Well, you heard it here first, organizers. All right.
Yep. So August 19th through the 21st.
Good deal.
I'll probably wait until next week and start plugging that really hard and everything and making sure I have enough books. But this is the hardcover. You've seen the paperback, which is the black one. I did the reverse on the series. So starting Black August off strong. This piece is page number 17 in the book. It is called Criminal Needs. You can replace officer with ICE. That's how much I've written over the years. Not much has changed. You might have to skew a little things, but I think this was written back in like 2020 at the height of everything. So let's begin. Peace. And the streets filled with blood, not drained by the sewer system that was under construction. We rather pave over the tombstones of our memories, guilt, and past failures than face the crumbling foundation on which we were built. Why fix what we know is wrong if we can criminalize what we know is right? As we ejaculate to the live videos, perpetuating the endless state of bliss, going viral when your neighbor takes that last bloody opioid hit, coughing up the last bloody bullet from the end of an officer's clip, making memories of future generations who fill up gravesite after gravesite, condemned to be world star top hit list. Families torn apart by legislation, blind to the needs of the people, but woke to the demands of the blood-drenched dollar, who only blink when their bottom line won't fill up a prison quota. But you won't fight back. You rather attack the members of your own community who starve, waiting for some semblance of justice. because we protect and serve those that invest in us. Cast checks for bullets we spray in the streets, serving the needs of the blue line pensions of the largest gang armed force that serve just us. So hit record and make sure your video is clear, because without it, we won't know which officer was in danger, armed to the teeth with the purification of America and shiny new nickname. Don't just wake up. Act now before there is no tomorrow. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. I want to thank you, Jody, for that. Oh, where can they get the book?
You can get the book at Amazon right now, also at your public library system. If you go, since it is in the library system here, if you go to Ohio, the main system, and keep bugging them, from what I'm told, they eventually have to purchase more copies. So Ask for Childhood Trauma Series, Volume 2, Volume 1, Tears of the Wounded, Volume 1, Volume 2, and just keep going to Ohio. I think it's like Ohio Records or something like that. The main system for libraries in Ohio. And if you keep requesting it, they'll have to get it in more libraries.
And as always, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else?
Yeah.
Peace. All right, we are out.